Hello, greetings. Thank you for joining us. I'm not sure how long this is going to be. For this connection, be about Council on Foreign Relations. I'm not sure where this is going to go. Eventually, I'll do more live videos. Right now, it's not. No, I'm going to be doing live videos every other day, so I'm trying to keep things a little bit cool down a little bit. Also, this showed up. This is it's not completed though. It's got some issues with it, so it's not available yet. But I had to order another copy of it, so it's going to be, I think for the most part, I don't know, maybe I should have. It just has a couple errors here and there, so this is basically the proof. I might give this away. I'll think about it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's pretty thin. It's nothing huge, but it's pretty funny though. So this is just the beginning of it, you know. So it'll be on Amazon eventually. I have to do a couple of things to get it on there, but it might take a couple of weeks. But anyway, so it takes another week for me to get a copy because the thing takes forever. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get it. So it takes like about 3 days for it to be processing, and shipping takes forever. So they do give me a date when it's going to arrive. So anyway, it's coming soon. So if I'm out of town, I don't think I'm going to get it that soon. Probably not. So maybe next Wednesday, maybe. But I doubt it. So anyway. Also, yeah, I'm working on a graphic novel. I got 2 of them. One of them in the works. Who knows how long that's going to take. I'll be lucky. It's Ira and Olivia. I'll be lucky if I have all the pages by the end of September right now, the way things are going. It's hard to say. I'm not getting a whole lot of communication out of the artists from Nigeria. It's good stuff. It's a low budget, so I just gotta work with what I got. So anyway, it's kind of frustrating to a certain degree, but anyway, it is a long process putting these things together. So I did find another artist. It should be actually a lot quicker from what my feeling is on it. So this other artist also does more. I haven't tried him out yet. I haven't had a script yet to send him yet, but I get a good feeling. So I'm gonna use a separate artist for this. You know what's funny? Well, it's gonna take me a while to get the script done. So I'm still working on the project. The second project is about AI. It's about the future, kind of apocalyptic future. I won't go into too much details. It's kind of like I didn't put up anything here, but it's kind of like what's the name of it? It was give me kind of an idea. Some of it has kind of like Terminator, kind of not exactly like that, but sort of. Also, yeah, I'm trying to make it as cheery as possible. Well, it has a lot to do with mind control. It has a lot to do with like way to look. Oh, we look this way and you'll be accepted. Stuff like that. AI and things of that sort. So it has a lot of. Demolition Man. So, here I'll give you kind of a. I wasn't going to do this, but I'll give you kind of an idea. I can mix up a little bit of everything. Yeah, give you kind of an idea of where what's coming. So 1 second. I was going to put this together and I changed my mind. I kind of forgot about it actually. One moment. Let's see. What's the other one? Even Demolition Man. I think it has. Let's see here. Yeah, Demolition Man. This is basically, it has like this perfect feature. I'm not sure if they have anything. Yeah, these are the cops. It has like they're not used to fighting crime, not the violent type. So it's kind of, it has that type of energy to it, and also it has something like this in it also. This is something around this type of, yeah. So yeah, it has a lot of, it's about us basically. So this can be kind of an idea of it was going to be of a comedy, but it keeps transforming. So I don't know where it's going. So when I have any details, I'll, you know, I don't know if I'll have art. I have to. I'm still building it. So that would be like a like normal, like at first it'd be like 22 pages, and then I'll have a part two to that one. I won't give away title or anything. I'm still actually working on the title. I think I have the title down. I don't have. I'm still world building, you could say. So it has a lot to do, yeah, with our situation. I can tell you this: it's going to have to do about North Korea and the shadow government type of situation. It's going to have something like that. Yeah, North Korea doesn't care what they do. You know, obviously Kim Jong Un is not exactly. It kind of like breezes, and it wasn't my intention to go that direction, but it's like, that is there. It is a big deal, and it's well, we look at our world today. So I mean, a hermit country, for that matter, obviously is not very good to his people. But when you get to an elite status, you don't care about people anyway. You only care about yourself. So that's what a lot of this has to do with. Like, is it about people? Is it about how many people lose in Iraq? Does it really matter? Do we care? It's all about us. Who cares about them? They're just sheep, as you might see. So uh, you can say I have some CIA type of stuff in there too. So I'm getting kind of a hint. So yeah, it should be interesting. I just gotta figure out how I'm going to put it out. So yeah, this thing is morphing into. It was supposed to be a comedy, but it's morphing into this whole another creature. So, which is good. It has a lot to do with, as I said, the way to look. Oh, you need to look this way. You need to look, like Kim Kardashian, or for example, like talk show hosts. This all perfect looking, smell perfect, blah blah blah. Kind of all that BS going there. So that's in it. So it has a little bit of sprinkles of other real. But anyway, it's interesting. It's like something I thought I had it figured out to a certain degree. It was kind of simplistic. Not anymore. So apparently it needs to be out there. So as for when it's going to be done, I mean, I'm nowhere. Like the Ira and Olivia, or whatever I'm going to call that, that one's, it's in slow motion right now. I'm possible, yeah, probably. The way things are going, probably, but in a month, I might actually have all the pages. The way things are going right now. So anyway, and I have to, once I get all the pages, I have to put dialogue and everything, and have a cover and stuff like that. So things are moving. It just takes time. So, and this is the experiment to see. This is my experiment before I go into the full comic. So anyway, I never saw myself. I thought about doing a comic for a while, but now it definitely seems like it's the right way to go. So it's interesting. So, so you have a little bit of an idea of what's in the works, at least. Should be interesting. So, for those, we're going to go to the Council for Foreign Relations and see what we get from that. And other beings, anybody has a message here on the Galactic Universe? Yeah, okay. Somebody's here. So, all right, for those that are new to all of this and you haven't ran away yet, this is ivanteller.com. This is where you find out who I am, or if that even matters. Private session page. This is the schedule of what's going on. Is the gift cards, the easy purchase, there's other methods of purchase. Google Hangout, Skype, Zoom, and by phone, and it's all recorded, and you can use the file for whatever you like. It's all yours. Put on YouTube. Don't put on YouTube. Whatever you want to do, it's all yours. There's also join the webinar situation here if you're interested. Also, and this is also the Ivan Teller services and alternative payment. And we also have iPhone and Android app. Also have Spirit Social. Basically, it has the same things on here, just if some people aren't always having luck with the other sites. So, submit a question, healing, past life regression. Oh, I guess I forgot something anyway. Message from Yeshua, 5-minute healing, channeling, consulting. There's also, you can purchase sessions here, and also channel spiritual connection, one question from a day, chakra healing from a day, soul pain from Stephanie, and Reiki, angelic Reiki from Miguel. And this is what keeps the show going. And also, after you purchase, you receive an email. I'll have to change this, I forgot. It has like submit a question. When it says submit a question, you can also put, like if you have something to add on for your healing, or you want to know some details as for your healing, as for message from Yeshua, you want to answer from Yeshua, or however you want to go about it. When you get your receipt, it has an email receipt. It has a link to submit a question. Just use that. And I know it's the best only way. They won't allow me to do anything else. I'd rather. So that's why Spirit Social has a little form there. You just fill that out, and it's easy. But it's not always. I don't know. Both of them have kind of like their drawbacks. Anyway, that's the way it goes. So, all right. Thank you for your support. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Send our energies to Houston. Yeah, a lot of lessons to be learned, but definitely. I sent our assistants there anyway. There's no one's bad there, either way. Joel Osteen and the big church, mega church, is going through some stuff. Probably because they didn't want anybody to go there to mess up his church. But anyway, especially the lack of revenue they're going to get because all those people are now there, sleeping, living there. So they're not going to be able to bring in new people. Well, then again, everybody's flooded out anyway. So so we're going through a purge, you could say. Not to say we're all going to get hit by a hurricane, but the world's going to change. It's another indication of shifting. It's more to come. I found this video. Other people have been sending it to me, which is interesting, about a CIA whistleblower. I don't have it up here, but anyway, it's about. Funny you mentioned John McCain, which is interesting because. Yeah, I feel John McCain. I know it's about politics, but politics is about our shadow government. It's about what's going on. It's not about politics. It's about the puppet masters, basically. Don't care. That's cool. But I don't want to preach spirituality to anybody, but it is good to know these things. If you're not into spirituality at all, it's still good to know about, who's running the show. John McCain's interesting. He's like, I don't know, let's find out. Okay, Google, raise volume to 6. Yeah, 7. Okay, Google, how old is John McCain?
John McCain is 81 years old.
Yeah, the guy has brain cancer. And he's still in the government. Why? Well, there's a reason why, but, as part of, he's doing his contract or whatever it is he has with these people, cause war, I guess he feels if he steps down, things will not be, they're trying to keep the deep state or shadow elite in operations, and I mean, it's just very strange, and it feels like a lot of it is rooted through him right now. Rumsfeld's not there anymore. John McCain seems to be, the devil in a suit, basically. Obviously, there are others, but John McCain is definitely, it's ugly. I mean, the guy had brain cancer, and you're still in the government. It's like, why? So a lot of them have. Now, it could be they have blackmail on him, possibly. I don't think so. I think he's just a trooper of darkness, you can say. It's so shady there. It's just. So, anyway, it's just so yuck. Here it goes. Council of Foreign Relations. So they have North Korea. Take me to North Korea. This is one of their hot topics here. It's funny though. As I was also looking at another interesting. When you go to NSA, God, it's just like it's like some, made by an elementary school kid. It's like they really don't want. There's nothing on this thing. There's nothing. It's just a bunch of BS, basically. So anyway, I thought that was interesting for the NSA. Just kind of. But anyway, as for the Council of Foreign Relations, of course, you can find wherever you want on YouTube. But there is a lot of those in the government are taking, Council of Foreign Relations. They're listening to them, like going by what the council will, the puppet masters, basically. They're shadowly. I thought that's just interesting. It's just, let's see here. Anyway. This is like mother hen, you can say. As for what's going on in North Korea, it is getting kind of, I do feel they're trying to shove him out of there. It feels like, and I'm not sure if they care what he's going to do either anymore. It's hard to say right now. It does seem like what you call the deep state. I'm not sure if they care if he attacks us or whatever. It does seem like their patience is being kind of diluted to a certain degree. It's going up and down. You think it's all right? Everything's going to be quiet for a while. Things change. So it does still feel like they're trying to kick him out. And I'm not sure if they care. Like, either it does feel like whatever he launches will be stopped, but it might get ugly soon. It's hard to say. It seems like Kim Jong-un is getting kind of tired of it all because they're not leaving him alone. So they don't want him there anymore. So obviously, we'll probably help them fund all of this. Of course, everything's not public, but Russia helped him get his arms. China, but I think we helped also. So it's over somewhere in there. So he sells his people out all the time. Of course, the U.S. government sells us out all the time too. So it's funny how our government, our news talks about their propaganda, but yet we have propaganda just as bad as theirs. It's quite fascinating. It might be worse, especially when they're poisoning us all the time, enjoying every minute of it. As for the Council of Relations, it is an old guard. It's mostly men from what I've seen. I don't know anything about it personally. I know I went there and looked, but I didn't really. I'm just going by what I'm picking up on. It's mostly men. It is part of Skull and Bones mostly. Of course, there's others, but this is mostly Skull and Bones from what I'm feeling. I believe Daddy Bush, the one that was like a corpse, is part of it also. And he might be getting his drug altering, whatever it is, to keep him alive. And yeah, some might call this a science fiction. It is. It is. But American people are just there to say, docile, stay the worker, don't worry about what we're doing. But it does have Daddy Bush, because it's like kept alive like a robot. It's like, As for why these people stay old for, I mean, why do they stay alive? I mean, it's just, I mean, obviously people stay alive for their own reasons, but these guys don't need to be here anymore. John McCain is one. Old Bush also, the Queen for that matter. It's like, yeah, I understand you're going to stay here forever, but it's a lot of it is blocked for what they're up to. As for Daddy Bush, it does seem like yeah, he's still part of. I see children around him, so that's nice. Not grandchildren either. So he's, I think he's trying to clear out karma. He did a lot of not so good things. So when he goes into the next life, he'll have less karma. At least that's what I'm feeling. Could be wrong about that, but anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of skull and bonesmen. Now understand, these people do a lot of spiritual rituals to give them power over the people. We're just the workers. We don't mean anything. And, they do their, and most of humanity, see, they don't teach this stuff in school. They're not going to. They do this stuff, but they're not going to teach us. So that's when we connect to it. It's like, what are you talking about? Watch people, go to People Magazine or watch Netflix. Don't pay attention to what we're doing. Because if you start paying attention to what you're doing, they just call you crazy or whatever. You watch too many movies, whatever, and it's not true. It's just unraveling the darkness here. And it is a major level. And Council for Relations has that's like the CIA basically, but the council makes a lot of decisions. It's basically the shadow government in your face, basically. There are other organizations also that are a lot more quieter. I don't think the Bilderberg Group has much of a grip anymore. They used to, and they got so much attention right now. Just a bunch of old men getting together and just doing who knows what. I don't want to know. But Council for Foreign Relations is the same thing. Of course, they do have more females there, but not that many from what I'm feeling. But yeah, they're very rich, very obviously the black magicians are not there, but the black magicians are there somewhere. They're not mentioned, but either way, they're doing the tasks of the shadow elite to keep their money, to give them power, whatever it is. With the celebrities, obviously they give them a lot of money, but then they have photographers following them everywhere, basically to keep them from speaking out to what's going on. Also, it's like you say anything about us will destroy your career. Because they do have an indication of what's going on to a certain degree. Now, some do survive, but not many. Like some talk about the pedophile situation. And, some can handle it financially. It's just they get you financially. Of course, depends on how far you go, they'll take you, you'll disappear basically. But this is, you wonder where healing is needed. I mean, spirituality is great and everything. It is. A lot of people are not connecting to it, but they will connect to more of this type of stuff. Because they want to know more of what's going on. They're not really ready for the spiritual stuff yet. It's like they're still trying to download what what the CIA is doing, things like Council for Foreign Relations, etc., Triangle Commission, whatever they're called. Can't pronounce it. I'll have to work on that one. But anyway, the CFR is definitely one of the leading. They helped probably most of the presidents get elected. Definitely with Jimmy Carter. But also, I believe they're covering up a lot of stuff for Bill Clinton. They cover up a lot of stuff for them. And the celebrities they put out there, because you can say that is kind of like the magicians at work. It's like they're not magicians, but in some ways they are, because they're there to seduce you. Like the sirens, they're there to seduce humanity, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. It's another way of mind control, obviously. Just to keep us under hypnosis. And they know that we're not taught spirituality or anything, so it's like, so they got us. And coming out of it, a lot of people are not in the spiritual energy at all. They're not, we're all analytical, we're all in the mind. We're not, anything else. And they want you to keep you in the mind, because the more you go spiritual, of course, your spiritual mind, basically, the more you connect with that, the more you see what's going on. They don't obviously advertise that anywhere. There is a lot of light workers, obviously, or positives that are bringing this more into our environment. The idea is to break out of the mind, break out of the control mechanisms that are here. And many do go into, they understand the alien stuff to a certain degree, but it's more of an intellectual, not spiritual. So the spiritual does help, but it's not always necessary. I mean, it takes a while to go at your own, I wouldn't force it on anybody or force it on yourself for that matter. Just go with the flow, and eventually you might find, you might not. Either way, open-mindedness helps. But it's not, I don't think it's a necessary, it's not for everybody. Connecting your guides, angels, not always for everybody. Some are just more connected to spiritual energies, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just not all what you want. A lot of people are connected to more the intellectual way of doing things, and that is the way we're all programmed for the most part. The more spiritual are, most likely you're not very good at school at all. So, but you are more understanding the metaphysics, and it makes life difficult in another way. So, for those that are connected to metaphysics, it's a little bit easier to see how things click. But when you're not connected to metaphysics, it's hard to see the spiritual side of things, obviously, because of the intellectual's selling point there. Those in the CFR is very intellectual, but they do use metaphysics as a hidden. They have those that are aware, like Darth Vader. They have their own Darth Vader somewhere protecting them. The black magician, basically, protecting them. And if they don't understand it, not necessarily there to understand it. So not everybody in the elite's going to understand it, not at all. But obviously, as long as they do what they're here to do, and it goes through the deep state. It does seem like the deep state or the shadow government. It does seem like it is two different things. I was in that video, which I never really thought about being two different elements. It's too much to handle. But definitely with, it's like they go through these councils to bring in the orders, basically. So, it's like, how do they get their information? This is obvious to those that are aware of this, but, they're not always aware of where they're getting their information from. Obviously, there's someone in the White House that is keeping an eye on Trump and anybody. It does seem like he comes and go. Of course, the cloning stuff's a little bit not for everybody, but it does seem like him and his clone kind of come and go. It's like sometimes it's him, sometimes it's his clone. Depends on what's going on. He has to sell himself out to a certain degree, because if he's he can't fully because I'll pull a John F. Kennedy on, he'll be going away. He wants to do that. He can't do it. So he's kind of, from what I got, this is what I've been looking for, actually. It's like he hasn't been pushed over the brink of letting the cat out of the bag, basically, what's happening here. Whatever you say about him, whatever. But, it does seem like he has to sell himself out to keep himself alive, his family. But there might come to a point where he would just say, screw it. I'm telling people whatever it is that he needs to tell them. Bring out. It's possible. Not to say that John F. Kennedy thing will happen, but he'll definitely have his presidency will be destroyed, basically. If this happens, I believe it'll be more in the second term. If it happens, it might. So anything's possible with him right now. He can't be fully controlled. They can't fully control anybody. But like with Kennedy, he was pushed to his brink about the CIA. Of course, they're doing assassins, of course. So it's hard to say right now. It's hard to say. But anything's possible. Of course, he might not do anything. Trump might be just a puppet right into it, possibly. I don't feel like that's fully there, though. But there's going to be some things that he's going to be doing that Some of us are going to be scratching our heads on. Of course, many don't want him to be there at all. It doesn't really matter. It is part of it's still part of the agenda that Hillary would have done anyway. But he has a better execution from what it seems. It doesn't matter. This whole thing about right and left is really, it's unfortunate. But that tells you where we are, and it's unfortunate. People aren't aware of they're just not ready to they're not ready to let go of all of this stuff that's being programmed at us, because it doesn't really matter who's in there. And anybody, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but anybody that says like the elite is in trouble, they're running away or whatever, or I don't believe that. If they were running away, we would have less crime, more people would be a lot nicer to each other. It'd be less murder. Houston would be cleared up sooner than later. If the elite were on their way out, you would see a lot of big differences right now. They're not going anywhere right now. At least the lower energies of them. Not yet. So anyway, as for the Council of Foreign Relations, I'm not really going into anything new here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go into, let's see what. Even those in that group, they can cross the line, meaning they can be thrown out, and not in a very good way, where their families affected. So they all watch what they say, what they do. For the most part, I believe most of them get along. They're not always agreeing. There is a positive version of the Council of Foreign Relations also. Might be a smaller group, but they are there to counteract the negative. So you put it this way, from what I'm seeing. You have a positive and you have a negative. And they're both there. They're not, however you want to look at it. Some are not into the positive, negative. They're into, which is fine. But anyway, you have one point of view for humanity. The other one's like, screw humanity. So you have that. So they are there, butting heads. So yes, they do get information from the elite, but a lot of them are from the shadow organizations, CIA, whatever. There are spies among each other. It also just never ends. There's a lot of spying going on. Jeez, sounds like sounds nice. Jeez. So anyway, I think they do everything pretty kosher. It's all kind of, it goes well, sort of. It's what do you call it? What's a good word for it? Diplomatic way of doing things. But also, it does seem like not all of them are getting along. They do have a visit here and there. Maybe a threatening visit, for that matter. Possibly. I do feeling that. They do it in a nice way. Like, if you see Eyes Wide Shut, they kind of threaten you in a nice way, but they do threaten you. That's that kind of stuff. That's what I'm feeling. So, it's like the big boy toys, stuff like that. So, they know each other's secrets to a certain degree. I guess they're all spying on each other to a certain degree. Nice. That's nice. Yeah, you want part of that? Yeah, sounds nice. That's my feeling on it. Maybe not everybody, but a good amount of them are spying on each other. Jeez. I thought the Kardashians were bad. Jeez, it does really feel that way. With the NSA, it does feel like with the NSA there is another layer of it that's a lot more complicated. It does know things a lot. I think it goes deeper than what, like, you see the outside version of it. We kind of know some stuff, but it seems like there's layer after layer after layer, and the other layers get more alien, more sophisticated, more higher technologies, and it's a lot more sinister, you can say, talking to people in their heads and stuff like that. But there's another side of it that's not being seen. I believe it's part of the NSA. NSA has been around forever, so maybe not physically, like they started at 2000 or whatever, or before that. But anyway, they've been around forever. It's just now they kind of went public with it, you can say. The Council of Foreign Relations, let's see, they do run Congress, obviously. They do invite a lot of the congressmen over there to say nicely. that we might erase you from humanity. It seems like it's very nice. It's very nice how they deliver these things, but it does seem like it's if you get invited there, it doesn't mean you're always going to be scrutinized in that regard, but it does feel like you're going to get something around those lines, possibly a threat or something like that. There are 5 different ways. Yeah, Washington sounds like it's very, it's all behind closed doors, not out in the open. They try to keep everything very quiet. They use drugs, obviously, to get to their victims. What it feels like. Nothing like what TV does. I think they'd like to do that kind of stuff, like what TV does, like take somebody out in front of everyone. But I think they're trying to keep things as quiet as possible because it puts a light on them. They don't want that. Even if something happens, like Congressman, just if it's a health problem, it's fine. But if it's something like it's anyway. Anyway, it does seem like they try to go for the health as much as they can because they can get away with that stuff. Let's put it that way. So I don't think they try to go. I mean, yeah, they do. God, jeez. Jeez, I thought the Kardashians were bad. Gosh, they're so subtle about everything. They're just so damn subtle. I mean, it's just so calm and friendly, and it's like, ouch. It's lethal. What they do to each other, or those victims at least, and each other. They scrutinize each other. They're just kind of overanalyzing each other. So they're kind of a bunch of old people, basically, for the most part, at each other's throats, but in a nice way. They have their ways about it, but they're not, it's not perfect over there for sure. They are, I think, for the most part, balanced. I mean, whatever you want to call it, balanced, but in control. Let's put it that way. But they do see a more positive energy coming in. Yes. Yeah. And believe it, the council, the CFR. You talk about aliens. Somebody does there. Quietly, of course. Congressmen, stuff like that, maybe. And they try to keep the alien stuff out of it, but I'm focusing more on the council for which I mean, it's in broad daylight. I'm not sure if they have an address where they meet. I haven't looked at that, but either way, they do talk about the alien agendas there for sure. But they keep it quiet. Mostly Palladian, Arcturian, reptilian, of course. Yael actually. Yael is actually pretty strong there, in a good way, for the most part. With the Yael, I do feel they go somewhere. They do have a meeting with them out in the middle of nowhere somewhere. I am seeing nature. I am seeing like something like we would call like Lover's Lane, but not that. Somewhere with a lot of nature where they can be secluded from everyone and they connect to the Yael there. That's what I'm saying. So obviously there are other ways of connecting to aliens, but that seems to be one of the places they do that. Always get a psychic connection or either way. The presence is quite heavy. This is quite interesting actually. They're all kind of listening in on this. At least that's what I got from them. This for what I'm doing. Anyway, whatever. Obviously, reptilian agenda is pretty heavy here. Anunnaki is probably the strongest. Anunnaki is probably of course, Anunnaki and Martians are kind of. I don't think the Martians make themselves all that well known. I think the more Anunnaki does it, their presence seems to be a lot more heavier. Jeez. Not to say that Martians aren't. Martians seem to be on the back. They are there. But they're more up the echelon. They don't see. They're connected more to the black magicians from what I'm seeing. They're not seeing. I don't believe so. If they are, I think it's very rare if they are. Because you would hear that through whistleblowers and stuff. It would come out through somebody. I don't think so. It's possible. I doubt it. I think they like to keep a low profile. Like the Greys. The Greys keep a low profile. Well, sort of. if they're not getting shot down, they keep a low profile for the most part. As for the reptilian, it's funny. The Council for Foreign Relations, I see more Anunnaki. I don't see reptilians as strong, which is kind of strange. Okay, they're more of the military. Okay, that makes sense. They don't go to all that boring crap. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay, so they're more involved in the military, obviously. That affects our food and our air, the chemtrails. So mostly military forces that are around. They're definitely part of the deep state, obviously, and the shadow elite, obviously. I am seeing, like, I did see a president, like the real president of the United States that I never see the face of. I have had a dream I was in the same room with him. I didn't see him. I think it was all like shadowed out. Not to say that something happens very often. Usually my dreams and everything is shut off. I can use lavender, it helps a little bit, but still I get shut off most of the time. So anyway, I guess you can say I'm kind of bringing in my downloads here. So anyway, yeah. The council, Syrians, Palladians, they do talk to. They talk to Orions. Orions, actually, they do talk to quite a bit. Of course, not on a daily basis, but they do. If anybody's going to come up in a conversation, it'd be mostly Palladian and Arcturian is the strongest. There could be others. Lyran, maybe. Well, I'm talking about with the CFR, like in their I don't know, in their mansion of horrors or whatever it is. Everything's gonna look very nice there, of course. Everything's gonna be perfect food, perfect old people. Everything is gonna be perfect. And that's doing devil stuff basically. And then behind, they have like different meeting rooms. It seems so they're not all like in a big group, just like, hey, you talk about da, 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 da. No, it just like there's a few people in a room that talk about Palladians or Arcturians or stuff like that. If it goes into that if it it does seem like that's something they don't really have a big conversation about. I don't think so. Like you look up CFR and you see Hillary Clinton or somebody talking, they're talking to a group. I don't think they do anything like the alien stuff there. From what I'm feeling. It feels like more closed in that room. I had to say aliens are there. I mean, obviously they're there in some regard. They can be wherever they want. But the conversation is about them. At least, obviously, there's other layers they can be around, but it does seem like they do have conversations about it to a certain degree. So, as for what that helps, it's in the Pentagon, definitely. Pentagon is definitely reptilian. It's huge there. They watch everything, and they are pissed off, and they get amusement. Yeah, they use fear. They like this. The men they pretty much have around their finger, gun ho. Let's go shoot some people, whatever. The females, they're not always, so they have to kind of. Seem like women, they have to kind of they have to make that a project for them. Some of them, at least, because they're sometimes not always on board of what they're doing. And also, reptilians are there to make sure their agenda is on the way. Now, understand they're in another dimension; they're not seeing. But let me tell you, it's like in here. Obviously, I have beings here. It's like a fine line between our dimension and theirs. It's that. So they hear everything, see everything's going on. I don't know exactly what it looks like in their dimension, but they can like this bed isn't really there. They can walk around this, walk through walls, whatever. It's not there in their dimension, so it's very bizarre. Eventually we'll figure all that out, but so anyway. But yeah, the Pentagon it does seem like the Nordics are there too. They're not fun either. But it seems like the reptilians and them seem to be getting along pretty well. Obviously, there are positive aliens there too. But it seems to be the negative ones are definitely keeping the Pentagon, you know, keeping the war machine going as wherever they have certain agendas. So I think some of the ETs are getting a fight there too over what humans do. It's like because they put thoughts in your mind, so they're trying to keep you on their agenda. If that doesn't work, it's like a reptilian put a negative thought in your mind. Okay, do this, go to Afghanistan or whatever, and then a positive one comes through. It's like, and put some more positive energy into that person's mind. And it's like then you got a psychic war, you can say. I believe, and not to say it goes on and off on, but then they have their like little scuffles going on. It does feel like that type of things do happen. I'm not sure how much, but it does feel like it does happen. Especially the generals. The generals can change things, make or break things. Now, also, you can say, like, with the military, it's like, why didn't they just let Hillary Clinton win then? Apparently, yeah, because then, not to say Trump is a positive, but, if they have this kind of influence, well, apparently the influence isn't that strong to, to make sure a certain individual gets in, like Hillary. So not everything's 100%. So it does seem like the military is kind of tired of what Hillary was, of Obama, and they did a lot of compromises with him, and it just pretty much, and that's more of the deep state. That's like more of the deep state just hadn't had enough of it. So now we have Trump, not to say he's perfect, but he is kind of a wild dog. You never know what he's going to do. It does seem like he's not ready to fully do his thing, whatever he's here to do. But it seems like right now is not going to do it yet. But it does seem like he will hit the line where he's just going to say screw it. So, and then who knows? If you're seeing stuff, that's all possibility. But as for in the government system, there's a lot of negative Nordic and positive. The negative seems to be more, and their influence seems to be working a lot better. Not hard, right? Because the image, it's just power. They know how to manipulate people through money and stuff like that. So they're keeping a lot of at least the Nordic agenda, and the Pentagon is seems like a lot of them are keeping the money situation kind of quiet. I believe with the deep state is keeping a lot of their money, because they use money for control. So they're keeping a lot of that kind of colored all of a sudden, jazz all over the place. That's interesting. So anyway, I'm not sure how much more how much more I'm picking up on this. Obviously, a lot of it is kind of quiet. Also, it does seem like through the CFR, they are pushing a lot more transsexual type of stuff, which is good. But they're manipulating it. They're pushing it, but they're manipulating it within our society. They're pushing it. Yeah, my colors all over the place right now. It's interesting. Might be the NSA it's happening in. They're manipulating it in a way where they're not making it easy for that type of group. As you can see, I think it was pulled from the military. It is a small amount, but it does seem like the agenda's changed with that. Obviously, they don't want it to be as successful. Not right now, but it is. It does seem like the government, they're gearing up for some kind of. It might be the North Korea situation. It does seem like they're gearing up for some kind of situation. I don't think it was with Russia. It feels like more. It feels like it's more North Korea. Yeah, it's just obviously they see things a lot, down the line. No change. And now it's right again. So it does seem like a lot of the remote viewers and things of that sort. It does seem like there is a worry with North Korea right now because they want that place. They want that land. They want all of it. They're just, it's like they're dying for it. It's like we want that space. They don't care about the people, not really. So it does seem like they're building scenarios of how to remove him, obviously. Anything can go right now. like he's doing threats and stuff, but I believe they can counter it. Is what they're working on, countering all his threats, all scenarios. Like he shoots a missile, they can stop it, doing whatever they can to box him in. So it might be during this Christmas, maybe they remove him. It's hard to say, but it does seem like it is warming up to a certain degree. It is all over the place. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. But anyway, it does seem like at least that's what it seems like what's in the agenda right now. But also, a lot of the deep state information might be leaked also, possibly. Like hacker or something like that during if an invasion does happen. But they are working on several scenarios, and it does seem like it's heating up to a certain degree. So I think removing the trans from the military had a purpose of some kind of future possibly of attack at least. So it does seem like it's in the cards from what I got, from what it feels like at least. Also, yeah, obviously when the Pentagon is a lot of spies, they don't always know who they are. Aliens aren't going to tell you because they don't care, unless it suits their interests. But most of the time, I'm not going to say anything. It seems like Chinese, but using Americans to do spying. There's a lot of spies in there apparently, and the Pentagon knows it, but they don't know who it is. I don't think, you know what, Russia. I'm not feeling Russia. You know, you think Russia. I'm not feeling Russia. I feel more China. North Korea is more outside, but definitely China definitely. So yeah, China definitely. Now they're using Americans. They're not using Chinese people. That would be too obvious. But they are using Americans at this same payoffs, whatever it is. They seem to be doing quite well with it because they can't seem to figure out who it is. So definitely within the Pentagon, mostly Pentagon. There are other State Departments, stuff like that. Yeah, it's not boring. Who cares about that? But the White House, no. But Pentagon, yes. That's obviously through the military. So, yeah, Pentagon definitely. Either it's a like a hire out, you know, like they're hiring other companies to, in turn, know what to do with the NSA. It might be through that, but definitely have spies there for sure. Yeah, it's kind of, and the U.S. knows it, but they don't know who the hell it is, so they gotta play nice with them. It's like they gotta play nice. It's like, and they have stuff on, you know, our government people definitely. So anyway, that's interesting. Not in the White House though. I'm not seeing anything. It might be stuff in the White House. I'm not seeing it. Pentagon, yes. There's other outfits, the other alphabets. FBI. FBI is a little bit. CIA, yes. CIA is already sellout anyway. So CIA is complete sellout. So I mean, they're not even on America's side. They're on their own side. So FBI, possibly an FBI. I think they're a little bit better at capturing people, but not always. More sophisticated spies. If there's any, but like I said, I think it's still more Pentagon than it is. If there's anything in FBI, it's got to be outside. It's FBI seems to be it's well walled off from what it feels like. CIA not CIA is, like I said, CIA doesn't give a shit about anybody. They really don't. It's more about them. You know, fuck everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, there might as well be it might as well be North Korea while they're at it. It might as well be. I mean, they'll throw anybody under the bus. So, but there's spies there, probably. I mean, but there's such a. I mean, it's like their spies are like, come on in. It's like, we don't care if you're gonna, you know, spy on. You know, they don't care. It's just, it's complete sellout there. That's interesting. Jeez. FBI, like I said, I think it's a little bit better organized. Well, it's still sell. They still sell out the government. They're mostly watching Congress, obviously, so-called terrorists, stuff like that. Whatever the CIA creates, they kind of have to be. Like the CIA creates a terrorist group. The FBI is kind of there to keep it going. Like that's how they get funded, is to go after whatever the CIA created. That's what it says. But yeah, CIA is completely sold us out ages ago. If I think it was done through a treaty or whatever during Truman's time, but it would have been, they would have, anyway, they would have had freedom no matter what. They would have figured out a way. It's not constitutional. Is um, yeah, they are connected to the secret space program through the FBI, CIA mostly. FBI actually, they do take recruits there also. Uh, the CIA is really the one that kind of filters who goes into secret space program. If they see like they can, you know, whatever it is, though, if you match the credentials, they'll wipe your brain or whatever the hell it is that they do. So yeah, definitely. The CIA definitely is. It's like recruiting for the dark, obviously, for the elite. Obviously, if you want to see the rabbit hole into the elitism, it is, yeah, CIA definitely. Definitely, it's quite humorous. Most people aren't going to believe it. They don't want to connect to Kim Kardashian, Netflix, Ellen DeGeneres, and all of that, just to keep you unfocused to what's going on. So when you focus on what's going on, it's just, anyways, everything's orchestrated. It's just unbelievable. But through them, is like, that is like a whole jihad group for sure. Interesting. Anyway, but they like keeping quiet, but they do keep our eye. They have their own NSA too. They have the NSA, but they have their own version of it because they don't trust NSA. That's what I'm getting. So, yeah, they put a lot of their spies in there too. Obviously, it does seem like Snowden was helped. There was some positive forces there that knew what he was up to, and they helped him out of there. It might have been some dark too. I don't think it was fully unnoticed. I don't think so. Some wanted to see what was going on, see what happened with it. Agendas, like, they fund both sides, right? Like the whatever side. So sometimes they don't care. It's like, you know, they have their agendas behind why certain things are leaked. It does seems to be less likely to have a leak these days. So I think it brought them way more attention than they wanted to. But definitely they're trying to keep more of a lid on that stuff right now, at least. So anyway, all right. Hopefully this is brings help to something. It's definitely the real world. More of this stuff is going to come through. It's going to need to, for us to heal and to find what's truly going on here, is basically to, remove the puppet masters so we can, most of humanity is going to shut all this stuff down because it's just too insane for them to realize what's going on. The black magicians are definitely counting on that. So they made it complicated. It's not that complicated. Well, it is power direction. Obviously, it is. But when you feel like there's a metaphysical force behind all this, quiet. Even Alex Jones has said that, but does not connect to it. It does exist. It's counting on people not connecting to it because it's programmed us not to connect to it. So we have to deprogram ourselves, at least from what they have programmed us, and to shine a light into darkness, less wars, less John McCain, less CFR. As a lot more light workers awaken, they will confront these organizations in their own way, in a positive way, of course, and read into what's going on and send light to us so we know what you're doing, and we don't want to cause you harm, but we don't want harm on the human population either. There are other ways of ending wars. It's just with your own vibration, your own intentions. They do all this with protests to stop war, and that's what they want. There are other ways, as a more metaphysical way, though. I know it sounds weird, but not really. It's basically pouring more positive vibration out. To just, you can say, read minds of the dark, but bring more enlightenment to the dark. So, you know what? We see what's going on. We don't need this anymore. Because the dark uses fear. they have other methods, but fear is when that doesn't work, they lose their battle. So protesting, it's just, I mean, yeah, it's good to put your point of view out, but it's all anger and it's all fighting and it's just like a pepper spray and all that. There are other methods, but we have a ways to go as for connecting with that. It takes time. It just takes time. You can get to Donald Rumsfeld in your astral if you want to, or John McCain. I might have a visit from that, or somebody. Hope not. Anyway, so blessings. Hopefully, this will bring assistance to awakening. I know it's not your average connection, but I figure I gotta put that. I gotta go in this direction. It just feels like I'm bringing enlightenment to somebody out there. So, all right, much love, everyone. Take care, and see you tomorrow. Much love. Take care. Keep connecting.